Decode your childhood. What does that even mean? Now, for you to understand what I want to talk about, I'll have you imagine a baby, okay? Now, imagine this baby which just arrived on this planet and has no idea how things work. It has no idea how fingers move. It has no idea how tongue works. It has no idea how to express itself, how to handle the situations that arise. Now, this baby has to learn. It has to learn a lot. And where does it learn from? It learns from the people who are around when it's little. And who is around when you are a baby? Well, usually your parents. So most of the things you know and do are somewhat copied or inspired, at least, from the way your parents handled life. Now, this is rather funny because it just stops. At a certain age, I have the impression that people stop learning. That means that until a certain age, you are like a sponge. You absorb everything. You learn behavior from your parents, from your friends, from whoever is around. And at some point, it just stops and it leaves you like you are, only deepening your characteristics over years of life, which results in adults that are kind of still children, at least in some ways, as they have never updated who they actually are. And I'm saying this because in my situation, I still feel like I am sometimes afraid of men, afraid of strangers. And why? Why is this a thing? Well, you can blame it on evolutionary things, you can blame it on unknown factors or anything, but what I kind of discovered is that I grew up afraid of my dad. And this just continued. Even a couple of months or maybe even more recently, I just had this image in my mind that I am still a little child when it comes to talking to my dad or sometimes seeing other men. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just this little boy who needs to be afraid of them because he can do nothing. They can just overpower him. And now you might find yourself being a grown-ass man, maybe even, I don't know, going to the gym and doing martial arts or whatever. You are not this fragile little child anymore, but somewhere inside you, you still are. And it affects the way you see yourself, it affects the way you see life, it affects everything. This is just one example of how things that we learned when we were little, like learning to fear your parents, just keep affecting you until you grow old. If you don't look at them, if you don't ask yourself, is this still the case? Am I still in this situation? Does this situation maybe need an update or something of that sort? And there are a lot of them. So it is kind of our responsibility as we grow older, as we advance in life, to ask ourselves, are we still the same? And the answer is obviously no. No, a lot of things have changed over time. You are not a child anymore. You are not little anymore. You know how to handle things, or at least you can learn how to handle them. And that is just a major update that we need to make in our brains. Because you see, as children, we just learn to live by the rules of our parents. We just see them, how they interact with each other, how they interact with the world, and we kind of copy that. And some of those things are good, but others not so much. So as we advance in life, we get the opportunity to question our behavior. Maybe we had a situation where we didn't really behave like we wanted to. We just did it out of something unknown. It just came out. It just overpowered us. And that's okay, because that happens. But after that situation happened, you can ask yourself, why did I react that way? Why did I even get angry when somebody told me this or that? Why did I get sad? Why did I feel like running away? Why do I see myself as a victim in this situation? And a lot of it, maybe not all of it, but most of it, goes back to our childhood. So really, what there is to learn from our childhood is everything. We need to take it step by step and trying to decode what was written into us. And we get all these opportunities. Life is full of opportunity. Even just meeting a neighbor or just sitting at home with yourself. If you just sit for a moment, you will feel things bubble up. It's much. It's a lot of things. Maybe you feel like, okay, I am wasting my time. Well, guess what? Who used to tell you that do something, don't waste your time? When you were little, maybe every day. Why are you sitting? Do something. Well, your parents, right? When you were playing, I don't know, outside. Well, maybe don't do that. Help me with this work. What you do is useless. Help me do this useful things. They didn't express it like that. Well, at least not always, but it got recorded into, I'll say, myself, maybe you too. And it just kept repeating like a broken record. It just kept going on and on. And it just became so subconscious that we don't remember where it comes, but we just know that it's true. So when you sit at home and do nothing, suddenly you feel this thing like, why are you losing time? Do something productive. And suddenly you can't rest anymore, you can't relax anymore, you just feel this urge to do something productive. What is productive even? You know? And there are other things, like so many. Just taking your childhood step by step. And I feel like the most successful way of me to tackle this problem was backwards. So you live, and during your experiences, you notice this behavioral patterns that you just follow. And when you discover a pattern, just ask yourself, why do I do this? Why am I like this? It's even the most basic things, like what do you consider useful? What do you consider needs doing? What do you consider good? What do you consider bad? Even basic stuff like this. It comes from somewhere. You have learned from somewhere what is good and what is bad. And I think that a lot of that is from your parents. And not in a bad way. It's just that you just keep giving. You understand? You just keep giving what you have. It's the same with children. You give to your children what you have. You give good things, you give bad things. You just keep giving. And your children learn. They see how you fight with your partner. They see if you ignore the problem and just mull it over yourself until you finally explode. They see if you just wait for your dad to leave, for example, so your mother can cry alone. And as a child, you see that. Children are not dumb, not at all. They notice a lot of things and they have great senses. Everybody knows. Children pick up everything. Like they see it once and they recreate it. They just copy it. And that's fine because that's how they learn. But now, when we're bigger, when we're adults, we don't have to do that anymore. You understand me? We can ask ourselves, do we want to be like this? And it's our decision. There is such beauty in this that it's just our freedom to act as we want. And I know everybody is always saying that I just can't help it. Well, guess what? You can. You can. It's not easy, but you can. And that's important to know because that takes you away from the position of the victim. You are not a victim of your childhood. Whatever happened to you, whatever you experienced, you don't have to suffer because of that your entire life. You get the chance to free yourself from it consciously. You just really have to want it. And once you do that, so much more opportunity awaits. And as I said before, life presents you everything you have to learn. You'll get into situations where you get reminded that, look, that's how you behave. Where is this from? Why are you getting angry? Why are you getting frustrated? Where is this from? And ask yourself, where is that from? Do I have it from my mother? Do I have it from my father? Did I see them do it? Were there other people in my life when I was little? It just helps you realize. And sometimes it's even enough just to realize that it's not yours. And it can be tough because that kinda attacks our personality. And our personality is something we defend ferociously. But once we realize that that's not us, we just learned that behavior from somewhere, from someone, suddenly we can detach from it. We're like, whoa, okay, so I'm not like that? Then what am I like? And this question sparks creation. What am I like? This question invites you to discover what truly lies behind all the masks and images you portray to the world. And it's such a beautiful question. What are you like? How do you actually want to respond? What do you want to bring to the world? Is it frustration, anger, dissatisfaction? Or is it happiness, contentment, even love maybe? And you do this by living it. There is no other way. There is just no other way of being than just living it. Everybody knows when you're faking it. And it doesn't even matter if the other knows. It just matters to you. And you certainly do know when you're faking it. It's just not real. But it doesn't have to be like that. You are free. You are free to be yourself in your actions and in the way you are. Of course, life will present you tons of situations where you will have to decide, where you will have to take action. But the way you do it, it's up to you. The way you respond, it's up to you. And ask yourself this: do you want to respond in a way that was just dictated to you years ago, that you just picked up because you just had to learn? Or do you want to polish that reaction? Do you want to just accept the fact that you had to learn how to behave and then let it go? Because now you can find your own way of reacting. It's such a discovery. It's such a discovery, and I encourage everyone to walk this path. You know, not a lot of things will make you truly happy. But one of the things that will truly give you a very good chance to happiness is being yourself. And it's often way more complicated than we think. But it's real, and that's what matters.